Hey guys, my buddy Mr. Strife was saying that he's struggling a little bit with his double hits in Sylph mode for World Boss, and so I thought I would go over how I make sure that I get my double hits to work in World Boss, and I think I'll just do this for the Sylph round. You know, if you guys are interested in anything class specific for World Boss, then go ahead and ask, but I think it's more universal if I just focus on the Sylph round, and the Sylph round is definitely where it's more difficult to get double hits. In the class round, you can use simpler 1 second cooldown skills to make sure that you're getting double hits, and they're very quick. But in the Sylph round, for whatever reason, it does seem a bit more difficult to make the double hits work. So one thing that I need to explain before going into the world boss footage is about the speed of skills. And so in a turn-based game, you know, of course, all these skills have a different pace to them. In class mode, you know, a Delphic, it tends to be very slow, and then the shorter skills that don't have QTEs tend to be very quick. And so you can kind of time things with those. In Sylph mode, you know, there's no QTEs at all, so you just have to sort of know the pace of a skill and whether or not it's fast. In my case, I have the Delphic, Short Circuit, Shock Chain, and Flash Storm, and all of these are very quick. They also happen to have longer cooldowns, and so longer cooldowns than Jupiter's Wrath. So I'm going to want to use Jupiter's Wrath multiple times because it has a short cooldown, but it's also very slow. The next slowest cooldown is, next fastest cooldown is Short Circuit, which is still a pretty fast skill, but I think it can only get in twice. And so for me, you'll see I'll lead with Short Circuit, and then I'll double hit Jupiter's Wrath to Shock Chain, and then I will Delphic, and then I'll use a rune with the Delphic, and then I'll go back to Jupiter's Wrath and either double hit Jupiter's Wrath with Flash Storm, or just single hit Jupiter's Wrath and then double hit Flash Storm and Short Circuit. And the key with that is that in order to get a double hit with anything with Jupiter's Wrath has to go first. So you can have a slow skill, then a fast skill. So you'll see me double hit Jupiter's Wrath, then Shock Chain. Shock Chain is the quickest skill out of the bunch. Probably close or tied with Flash Storm. If you go into AFK mode in Sylph mode, the AFK mode will pick Shock Chain first, and then either Flash Storm or the Delphic, depending on the Delphic's cooldown. But yeah, so these two are definitely very fast. It'll always pick Jupiter's Wrath probably last. That's because Jupiter's Wrath is a very slow skill. So anyway, that's sort of how you can test the water with your Sylph skills. Is AFK mode tends to pick the faster of the skills. So if I want to double hit with Jupiter's Wrath, it has to go first, and then later on you'll probably see me either go Jupiter's Wrath and then Flash Storm, which works, or if I can't get that to work, which sometimes or very often it doesn't, then I can definitely get Flash Storm and then Short Circuit. That tends to work, and so both of those are quick skills. Anyway, so we can get to the footage, but just something to keep in mind with any of the skills, you know. So definitely, if you have Thundering Strike, this single second cooldown skill, that's very fast. It's not very powerful though, so sometimes this can actually end up dropping your income just because it doesn't pack quite as much of a wallop, and there's only so many times that you can double hit anyway. Other than that, the only adjustment that I had before is that I used to have Thunder Strike instead of Short Circuit. You can have Thunder Strike instead of Short Circuit in the rotation that I'm about to show, but Thunder Strike, you cut it a little bit closer at the end because the cooldown is 25 seconds, whereas Short Circuit you make it in time very easily because it's only a 15-second cooldown. Anyway, other than that, I think that's the most of it. Cerberus, it's a very similar deal. Dragon Blast is the fastest out of these, I think, and I think Devouring Lava is pretty quick as well. The slowest of the bunch is probably Infernal Inflammation. Firestorm is quick, and the Delphic is quick. So yeah, so I show it with Hercules, but this would apply with a Fire Pit just as well. Alright, first time I'm going to do it in half speed, just so we can see everything. Lead with a rune. This is how I get my double hits going. So rune, awaken. While I'm awakening, I click 1, and that will get my my skills to blink. So short circuit, and once I hit short circuit, I hit shift to get the Kid Delphic to go. So Panda's used one regular skill, now he's using his second skill as the Delphic, and that will make sure that short circuit and my Kid Delphic strike in the same round, and that ends up being very key. I'll explain later. And so next up, I have Jupiter's Wrath queuing. So the world boss hits, and then I have Shock Chain up next. So slow skill, which is Jupiter's Wrath, and then a quick one, which is Shock Chain. So there's 2 skills in 1 round. Of course, the crit's not behaving. So now World Boss strikes again. I'm using a Delphic. The reason I don't have another skill queued up is because I'm going to use a rune next. So I hit the Delphic, then a rune, which is very, very fast, so you don't need to queue them up as strictly. Then use Jupiter's Wrath. And hoping to go slow then fast, so Jupiter's Wrath then Flash Storm, but it doesn't work out. So, you know, I can get that to work, but more often than not, it'll end up being 2 quick skills. So Flash Storm and then Short Circuit. 2 quick ones. It's not too hard to get them to fit in, as long as everything goes right. And so then I get ready to die, but that's the gist of it. And then I'll just go over the main thing that you need to make sure to do to have everything work out. The timing is pretty key at the beginning with the kid. So one time in full speed, I want to point out the key point. So that's right after I hit Short Circuit. So Panda just used one regular skill, and after I hit Short Circuit, I use Shift. So it's going to be my skill, Short Circuit, then Kid Delphic, so Panda's Delphic, and those occur within 1 round, and then the boss hits, and then I'm able to double hit these 2. If it turns out that the boss hits after I use Short Circuit and Panda doesn't get his Delphic until after the boss's turn, then I generally won't be able to get the double hits to work. Almost every single time I'll miss the double hit of Jupiter's Wrath and Shock Chain. So to me, that's really the key point, and I'll show an example of where my double hit fails because I didn't get that order right. This time a similar start, using my Chaos Rune to go into my double hits. And so I hit that Short Circuit, and Panda's used 1 skill already, and I'm just hanging onto Panda's Thunder too long. I wait for the Delphic a little bit too long, and so instead of Panda hitting his Delphic before this world boss turn, he actually strikes his Delphic after the world boss's hit. And so that one little difference is enough so that I miss the double hit from Jupiter's Wrath to Shock Chain. And so instead I double hit Shock Chain into the Delphic. I also managed to sneak a rune in there. But just that one little difference, so I get Jupiter's Wrath and then I get Flash Storm, but I'm not able to get that next double hit from Flash Storm into Short Circuit. And for whatever reason, that timing just pushes everything back a little bit and makes it much more difficult to get 2 sets of double hits in. And so just showing that the original footage with a successful round one more time so you guys can see the timing, show with all the arrows where I'm clicking at the time. You know, this takes a bit of practice, and so really just learning how to get the double hits going and maintaining them. There are many different ways to start up double hits. You know, a common one before was with AFK mode. Since we injected kids into the mix, it's actually much easier now, because every single time that you use a Kid Delphic, you can get your skills to start blinking, and so that's the key to making sure that you can get your double hits going. Even if you can't get 2 regular skills within 1 turn, you can definitely more comfortably make sure that you get your skills and your runes within 1 turn. And so it's very helpful that way. So I hope this helped out. If you have any questions, please ask, and take care. Have a very good day.